Okay, so welcome to podcast number 2 with Tim and Nick on the sofa talking about fitness facts.
Yes.
Yeah. And we had some good feedback.
We've had some great feedback, and I really enjoyed the last one. I loved it.
Yeah.
So thank you for everybody that has again given feedback and spoken about some of the subjects that we were doing and said how honest we are. So it's quite hard sometimes to address certain subjects without getting negative
or getting in trouble
views or getting in trouble. Yeah, but we, what we want to do is by doing this, we want to make sure that we're just giving our view.
Yeah,
that's what this is all about.
And you can see how much more relaxed we are this time as well, because last time, right, we were up like this in the camera. This time, hey, we're up. Tim's wearing socks. This time, I'm very pleased.
I have had a double espresso though, so
rare. Oh yeah, I made it for him. I remember.
Have you? You just made it for him.
I did make it for him. So as you can see, Tim, more espressos, even more hyperactive.
Rocket.
So anyway, quick recap on last time. So we talked about can you be fat and fit?
Correct. That's a good solid no.
Yeah, that's a no.
Solid
We
no.
decided that one.
Yeah.
And there was some science to back that up too as well.
There was plenty, which was great for us.
That's great. Not just opinions. And we talked about being patient.
Yes, we did.
Which kind of comes in today as well.
Yeah, it does. It leads on nicely, actually, to what we're talking about today. And I use patience constantly throughout the day to all of my clients. So all we talk about is being patient, being in control of the process, not letting your thoughts run away and think, where am I now? I need to be here within a certain amount of time. And it's so much easier when you take a step back and like sprint on that treadmill and just believe in the process.
And enjoy the journey.
Nick, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy the journey, you're never, like we spoke about last time, you're never in the moment, right? You're always thinking about what should I have done, what's coming next, so you're never really present. So believe in the process and believe in the journey. Everything can happen, all seamless.
And make some mistakes.
Yeah, because how are you going to learn?
Exactly.
How are you going to learn?
That's how you learn.
I am. I'm good at making mistakes. That's why I've got so much knowledge, I think, now, at my age. People like Tim, how do you know this? I'm like, listen, I've messed up a lot. I've messed up a lot.
Yeah.
But it's got me where I am now.
The bigger the mess up, the better the lesson.
Yes.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it again. That's what I was told. So it's alright to screw up. Just don't screw up twice.
Learn from what you're doing wrong. Learn from what you're doing wrong. Thanks, Mum. She taught me that.
Did she?
Yeah. And she's like, I did teach you that, but why are you still doing it?
He's referring to potty training. He's still struggling with that. So
don't talk to me about that because about the new puppy. Right?
He had to drop that in. So of course, last time we discovered I have a cat that I got from rescue. Tim has a puppy.
Yes, I've got a new
puppy. Which, if I recall, only a couple of weeks ago, you told me, but we're not going to get another dog just yet. And then one day, Instagram, there he is.
Nick, have you seen him?
I have.
I looked at his little face and I was like, do you know what? You're coming home. And then I looked at him and I thought, you're a Brian. Good name?
Great. Yeah.
Brian the Spaniel.
He's going to be in the park shouting, Brian! Some old bloke will be like, what?
Brian will be on this show one day.
Yeah,
I'm excited to bring him over. Me and Brian sitting on here with you talking about fitness facts from the sofa.
Great.
Get Brian involved.
Right. So should we on with the facts?
Let's crack on. I'm ready. Fire, Nick. Come on. I'm ready.
So our first subject of the day is learning. So
I love learning, Nick.
Good.
Love learning.
Good, and you've got to learn as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually quite funny because we didn't plan on talking about making mistakes. That wasn't what we talked about beforehand. We would say,
what a shock, Nick. We've gone off agenda.
There we are, we've gone off the agenda. But it's still on the subject, and that's the really important thing.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about going deep this time. So we are going to go deep into the brain.
We are, yes. Which I thoroughly love, if I'm being honest. A bit geek. I found out I'm a bit of a geek, but I love it.
You've only just found that out.
People keep telling me, Tim, you're a bit of a geek, If I put my hair down at the front and sweep it to the side and whack the glasses on, I'm full nerd. I am. I'm a bit
All right,
of a
then.
nerd.
Okay, so we're talking about learning, right? And learning is really important in the gym because in life, right? But the gym is life. I mean, it's a microcosm of life.
Yes,
isn't it, right?
agreed.
So
Lifestyle, yeah.
I see people who don't learn in the gym all the time, and I see people who don't learn in life all the time. And I think sometimes they rush, or sometimes they don't listen, or sometimes they're too proud to listen, or sometimes they're too scared to ask for help. So what's the best way you've found to learn?
So, this is a tough one, but there's loads of different ways of learning.
Yeah.
My way has been letting my barrier down, letting my guard down. So the things that I used to do, and I used to think was set in stone, aren't really set in stone. So being more open to learning, not being so much of a closed book on certain subjects. So not saying, I do this, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
That has really worked for me, because it's made me a lot more knowledgeable in loads of different areas. And I get it, like, people want to specialise in a certain area, and I get that and understand. And if you really want to learn something key, you go to somebody that studies certain subjects and you learn from that subject. But I like learning about everything. Yeah. And I think the more you're open to that more of a broader scale of learning, the more you end up learning.
I think it's quite surprising how much stuff crosses over.
Yeah, agreed.
So, you know, people would say, oh, you know, this subject here, you know, maths, for example. Well, what uses maths? You know, pure maths or applied maths. But actually, maths crosses over on so many things. So, you know, all right. You see the people in the gym, can they count the plates on the side? On occasion, no, they can't, right?
Well, it goes with putting them away as well.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to putting them away.
Because that's a 4-hour podcast on its own.
Yeah,
putting your weights away. Anyway,
and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I can't stop because earlier on I was like, what do you want to talk about today, Tim? And he just starts doing it. I'm like, can you wait for the video to start?
Things lead on, Nick. You just said it.
Well, did you know I actually have a master's in educational practice? Did you know that?
This man surprises me every day. He's with my phone.
There you are. Qualified teacher. I'm a qualified teacher. I used to be an army education officer. That's right. That's where I got it. So learning has always been something that I've been very interested in, because it's what I've used to help teach people over time. And what I found is, and so a lot of the theories go, is that people learn in different ways. That's the first thing that we have to learn. No one learns the same way. That might sound really obvious, but it's not, because you see some teachers and instructors, they teach all the people the same.
As if it's generic learning.
And that's called differentiation. So you differentiate for the learning requirements of the people you're teaching. Some people like to know the theory before they do the activity.
Agreed.
You know, and I think it's always good to have a bit of theory.
Yeah.
Some people want to learn just by getting on and doing it, like activists. You know, they just want to go, you know,
that's me.
Yeah.
It's like the iPhone story. You open up. This is me, right? Some people.
This is all blokes, though. It is.
We'll open up the iPhone, get the box, to take the iPhone out. Sorry, and then there's instructions. You're like, what? Please.
No one needs the instructions.
Until you get to a bit you haven't got a clue about. And you're like, let's just look at the instruction. If we just would have looked at the instruction manual in the first place, we know where we would be with that.
Yeah.
So it's the same. I get that. It's the same. But I'm one of these guys. I'm a real visual learner. I like to see it in practice.
Okay.
When I read, and it's something that I'm focusing on more and more. I love reading now compared to what I used to, and it sinks in differently now. I don't know why that is. You might be able to give me some information on that, but I like visual learning. So videos I learn from, audio I learn from. When I've got to read, it doesn't sink in as much for some reason. Don't know why that is, but that's my style of learning anyway.
Yeah, so it's what you can do is a simplified journey. There's a process called EDIP, right? Which you would have learned when you were doing your instructor qualifications as a trainer. Explanation, demonstration, imitation, and then practice. You know, so if I want to get Tim to do bench press, or Tim was taking me through deadlifts the other day, I was relearning the deadlift because I've never been good at it. Tim would explain it, he would then demonstrate to me, I then imitate him, and then I practice. Now the practicing bit's really interesting, and I use this example with Tim. If any of you have played a computer game and get stuck on a boss or a level, and you can play that for an hour, you know, I'm not getting past this, and you're banging away on it, or you're learning something for an exam, or you're studying, and it just isn't getting in. Now what happens is your brain gets quite tired because there's neural pathways, and your brain learns by sending information down the same routes. So there's this process called a yip, which golfers get, which is where they be highly skilled golfers and then things just go wrong, right? And that's when the brain has gone so stressed, it's sent the message down a different pathway, and it's as if they've never done it before, even though they've got the skills. So what you should do is, when you've gone and practiced, maybe for an hour or an hour and a half, you should then at least leave 15 to 20 minutes, allow your brain to sort of refresh itself. And then actually the best way to permanently learn, go and have a sleep. So once you've sort of
switch off, a reboot.
Basically. And what your brain then does is it repairs that bit, it gets the neurons all cleaned up. And that becomes then a route that it's used to. You know, and then you go back and practice it again, and then of course it improves and it gets stronger and goes from there. And of course, if you wanna keep that journey going down, you've got to relax. It's really important. This is where you see a lot of elite sportsmen and women
winding down.
They all have psychologists and coaches that teach them to relax. You know, and of course that's what Cheryl should be doing today before her big competition.
She should. She probably not. Isn't though.
No, she's not. She's probably a lot of
anxiety.
Nerves are good. Nerves are great, right? Because that's adrenaline. If you don't care, right, you wouldn't have nerves. You know, you're nervous because you care. So that's balance, you know, and that sort of relax and breathe from there. So this goes back to what Tim says about patience, is that learning takes time. So if you want to have a great deadlift, going back to sort of the gym as the example, or you want to be a great squatter or whatever it might be, it takes time. You're not going to learn the right form in 1 hour. In fact, you're not going to learn it in a few years. It takes you many
It's a massive process, and we spoke about this on the last podcast, and you know, giving enough time and allowing enough time and doing enough repetitions of something will change up the way, as you say, as the way your brain works. There's certain things that you pick up like this. There's certain things where you need to go away, like I say, switch off, come back, reset, and go again. A lot of the problem is people want it done now, short, sharp, snappy. I want to be able to go and do this patience, but you know, we talk about the journey a lot, but it's the failure of the journey that is the learning curve. That's the whole, you know, for me, it's, and this is, wasn't going to talk about this, but let's take injuries for an example. So most people, when they've got an injury, what they will do is they will solely focus on that injury. I've got a problem with my hamstring. I've got a problem with my lower back. So the first thing that they'll do is they will go into the gym and all their focus on is what they're injured on. Now, for me, I flip that straight away. Okay, so I was deadlifting yesterday and I've gone a little bit too heavy and probably my form went off a little bit. So my lower back, obviously my hips have gone up too fast and I've pulled from my lower back a little bit. Now, do I focus over the next 3 or 4 days on the rehabilitation of my back and solely focus on that?
No, you probably need to learn a rest.
Or do I take this opportunity while it's resting to work on other areas of my body that I probably wouldn't give the same amount of attention to? And that attention to, so that doesn't mean different body parts, that could be mobility, flexibility. So am I weaker around my glute max? Does that need more work? Does the insertion between my rectus spinae and my glutes, is that strong enough?
That's some big words.
Erector spine is the bottom of your back. So what
I know what
I'm saying is because what we always focus. See, this is the thing, and it leads us on nicely to another subject. Is rather than focus on the problem all the time or the challenge, what about all the other pathways that come into play?
So look at the opportunity then.
Yes, look at exactly that, or say to yourself, okay, so if you're looking at your glutes are not firing up, for example, or let's just say you've got and how many times we talk about sports massage today. So a lot of people get a lot of tension built up underneath their scapula or their rhomboids through stress and tightness and anxiety.
I do, especially do.
So a lot of people get that. A lot of people get that. So do you focus on that area, or do you say, actually, I need to really maybe look at my posterior chain a bit more? Do I need to train my back, my lower back, my rhomboids? You know, my traps need to be engaged a bit more. Do I look at muscle contraction? I mean, look, we can go on and on and on, but what I mean is, rather than focusing on this challenging point every single time, focus on what's going on around it and how you can strengthen areas around what's currently the challenge.
Hey, what, you know, we were talking about learning, you know, go and learn about these different bits that you may not have done otherwise.
And this is, and you know, talk about the mind, for example, talk about mindset. Okay, so let's just say anxiety and stress.
Yep.
So, okay, let's just say I'm anxious or I'm stressed. Rather than say I'm constantly anxious, I'm always stressed. Okay, in what areas, at what time are you stressed? What's the pattern?
Yeah.
How do we then start to untangle the headphones that are all in a knot? How do we get it? Do we go straight to the knot, or do we go to both ends and say, we're going to feed that end through that end, feed that through, and before you know it, your headphones are in a straight line. You haven't got a knot anymore, but you haven't gone straight to the knot.
Well, it's funny you talk about anxiety stuff, because we were talking about, you know, when we talked about the subject of learning beforehand, we were saying, you know, how do you unlearn some of the either bad habits or some of the irrational fears and anxieties that people have. So there's lots of examples of it. Some people don't like crowds for various reasons. Yeah. Some people don't like going on the tube.
Anxiety, Nick, is massive. Nowadays. There's because I think people feel pressured into. And it can be anything. It's to do with patience again. Yeah. If you think people want things done fast.
They see what other people have, and they think, why have I got that, and I want it now already? And it's. I always think that's the wrong attitude. You know, it's got to be about that. It's got to be about a journey and unlearning that anxiety. It's a very. We've talked about this. It's a very angry city sometimes.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah,
most of the time. London is very angry, but we're going to solve that soon, I'm hoping.
Yeah, less anger.
Yeah.
And I have just come back from New York, literally this morning. This morning, 3 hours sleep, straight in the gym.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Tim, we're doing the podcast.
Discipline.
There we are.
Discipline.
I'll have a little sleep after this later.
Agreed. Good discipline. Shattered.
I had no wine on the flight back because I'm training
That's
tomorrow.
That's because you spilt it all down your pyjamas. He was on the way out.
That's not what happened.
Wait a minute. He's like, Tim, I've been upgraded to business class. Photo on Instagram. Next thing, another photo on Instagram. All of his champagne, Charlie Big Spuds. He spilled it all down the whole of his outfit.
And that was
just saying
what quite happened. I didn't spill it on me. There was an incident where someone else spilled it on me. It was a complete accident.
Of course it was.
But I did think it was quite funny. You know, it was quite funny. Yeah, you have to. You know, don't get too cocky when you have some luck, right? Because trust me,
it spins back round.
It'll come back and get you, right?
Always.
Oh man, alive.
We're digressing again.
I can't remember what we were talking about now.
Okay, so
angry cities and stuff like that.
Angry cities. So we was talking about how do you change that thought process of if you are feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling impatient rather, what goes on inside your mind?
Well, I mean, so I've got a good example. So Tim and I were talking about this anger sort of thing, you know, and I'm sure it's happened to other people. It's happened to Tim, where someone gets very aggressive with you in the street for no particular reason. It just happens. You know, what do you do to deal with it? And then 2 days after that, I got actually assaulted outside the tube station, right?
Yeah.
But we've just been talking about this, and this was some guy who was unhappy I was walking on his bit of the pavement, basically. I was thinking about our conversation as it was happening, and I was managing it. I was making decisions in my mind of what to do, and I thought it was really useful. And we had this exact conversation straight after, because you asked me if we were thinking. I was thinking about it. Yeah. Just talking about the challenge and the anger and the anxiety. When it came around next, as some things do, I was able to manage it a lot better and make sensible decisions, which was basically me going, I'm just going to walk away from this because there's
before, and me and you again have spoken about this at length, and you know, and we're not the only ones that do this, I'm sure, but you know, when a certain situation arises where you feel as if you're backed into a corner a little bit and your defense mechanism comes up, and based upon, you know, your past experiences or how you've been brought up or whatever it is, it's the fight, flight, or flip, you know. So when you're in that situation, based upon all of your other experiences that you've had, will then determine how you react.
Yeah.
Right. So when you start to then unravel that, and then you say to yourself, okay, so if you're in a situation where somebody approaches you and they're aggressive, and before what all you've done is reacted aggressively yourself, then
fight mode probably would have come up.
Yeah, if you don't then look into that a little bit more and start asking yourself why, what can I do to stop this, then it's going to continually happen all the time. So this is what I do now. This is how I've changed, and this is what I've learned. I ain't going to go right into science, but I'm loving it at the moment. I've just started on this course, by the way, so I'm a little bit techie, a little bit scientific. So, but what it is, you know, if you
like to talk about it.
I do, yeah. I love talking in general. Shut it. Right.
I've been doing this course, Nick. I'm really interested.
I told you I could go into geek. Anyway, so what we do is this, you know, for example, as a child, the first time that you touch a naked flame on a lighter,
glad you went with flame.
Yes. And you get burnt, right? And you touch it and it's hot and the sensation's like, whoa. Your brain then tells you, okay, if you see a fire again, an open fire, don't go near it because this happens. And it's all to do with association.
Yeah.
It's all to do with, last time I did that, this happened.
Yeah.
When I see certain things that associate me with that flame, straight away the defense mechanism within your brain switches on and turns on. Now, this is what happens with anxiety, and when you are used to going into a situation that makes you anxious, you will continuously get this defense mechanism come up, the thought process, the path to say, this is related to this, so as soon as I go into this situation, this is what's going to happen. This is my defense mechanism. As soon as I go, like you say, into a big crowd, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get people going to come on top of me. I'm going to get crushed. Whatever it may be. Now, there's three ways, of trying to solve this or get around it. Number two, the two ways rather will be like this. One of them is medication, and the other one,
which is you know, it's. If you can get stopped that, because
that's the last,
and that's what doctor decided.
Yeah. So I'm working backwards.
Yeah.
Right. So one of them is medication, and before that is therapy.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing is repetition. Is putting yourself, funny enough, in that situation, right in the deep end, and it's the hardest way to tackle it, but also it's the fastest way to solve it. So if you say, I do not like being in a crowd, it makes me feel, you then need to go and put yourself in a crowd.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to do, and I get it and I understand. It's like, I'm scared of heights. So for me,
I'm scared of heights.
Yeah, so for me, for somebody to say, Tim, you're going to be doing a bungee jump, I'm like, listen, you're in a dream world, mate. You're in a dream world. I'd rather iron my own hands than do a bungee jump. So on the flip side, I know deep down, if I go and do a bungee jump, I know, and it might not, it's a process, right? It might not be that first time. I'm going to be scared to death when I go up to do it, the anxiety and also, but I know as soon as I jump off there and I get back, and it's going to be like, do you know what?
Wasn't that bad?
That wasn't as bad as what I've built up.
Yeah.
What I've built up.
So it's good to have someone, it's good to have a stable coach with you, isn't it? To walk it through with you.
I mean, it's very rare you're just going to go standardly do a bungee jump solo.
We definitely don't recommend that.
I'm not saying.
But I mean, in terms of the crowd thing, you know, if you know, having someone just stand there with you and just, you know, helping you to relax through it, I think is. But I think talking about it, guys are really bad. Well, we're gonna talk about this in November, which is like mental health month.
Well, you say talking about it is the second thing he's talking about. Is like therapy or friends or whatever it may be. But what I'm trying to lead on to here is this. It's about repetition. It's about doing it, and it's somebody come to me about a couple of weeks ago, and they said, I've got anxiety when I get on a tube. Yeah, they said to me, I said, okay, so tell me a little bit about that. They told me a little bit about it. It goes back to now I found out childhood. So I then said to them, before this I didn't know it was childhood, but I then said we need to make a new repetition with inside your brain to say, okay, and this is what I would like you to do. I would like you to get a notebook, and each time that you go on the tube and you get off the tube, I would like you to write down, went on the tube today, nothing happened. And then each time you do that, and you look over it over the space of a week, if you go on the tube 6 to 10 times per week, I want you to then revisit that at the end. And then what will happen is she'll look back through this book and she'll be like, I went on the tube today, nothing happened. I went on the tube today, nothing happened. I went on the tube today. So what's happening is your association is now being connected to association of being on the tube but nothing's happening. From going onto the tube and people are looking at me, going onto the tube and I feel squashed and something's going to happen. So what we're trying to do is retrain your brain to associate going on the tube with this book of nothing happened. And that's the way, the first way, apart from going to see a therapist or going on medication, they're a bit more extreme. That is the first way that you overcome being in that situation. I was going to say to you, listen, just for the record, he recorded, he was talking for half an hour we've been talking for, and he's just done the mother of all sucks. I just thought I'd state that. Let's see his eyes. There you go.
Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed.
Yeah, so he's going to come with a jet lag and all the rest of it now. I'm ready. Let's go. Get excuses in.
So I'm going to, this is a mistake. I've made a mistake. This is a learning moment, as we've just been talking about.
Repetition. Repetition.
Man, so literally just then I was like, well, we'll have a pause in the recording. And Tim was like, oh, I nipped to loo quickly. And I was like, great, I'll go and check the recording. And I was like, why is there only 1 second recording? And then I was like, oh no. And I was like, Tim, what a wally. And do you know what he said?
See what I've got to deal with here.
He said, don't worry about it, mistakes happen. So I have checked, it is recording this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had a quite a serious podcast so far. So we're going to talk something a little bit more light-hearted.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it though.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it
because I think that when we started doing these, this is fitness facts.
Yeah, from the sofa.
From the sofa, yeah. So I think it's nice to educate people.
Yeah.
We was just saying, I've learned so much from Nick today, and I'm hoping he's learned a little bit from me as well. And you guys learned from both, learning from both of us.
Yeah.
And adding some value. That's why we're doing this.
And we're going to have some guests on, and we're going to learn from them.
Yes, hopefully next time.
There's some guests that I'm especially looking forward to learning from.
Oh no, here we go.
But I'm not going to tell you who they are, what that is right now. But
we've got some good people coming on.
Yeah.
Very opinionated people. That's what we want.
Yes.
Yeah. And also as well, we will say this: if you are interested in coming on and you've got your own view about some of the things that we've been doing, or you feel that there are subjects that you would like to tackle or get across,
we want to hear about.
Get in touch. Yeah. Get in touch with us.
We're a friendly bunch.
Yeah, and we'll see what we can do, and try and get some people on.
Yeah, we will have a guest puppy and a guest cat at some point.
We will, yes.
Because we both have pets.
That's going to be exciting.
They're not here. Probably not at the same time, I would suggest.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we're going to talk about gym niggles, right? We want to hear yours. Things that really bug you. And I've told Tim my first one. And Tim, do you want to know the thing that bugs me most at the gym?
Go for it.
People not putting the dumbbells back in their correct place. Oh man alive, it drives me up the wall. I don't understand. Right, you're big enough to pick up the 34s and the 40s. Yeah. I get it. We're all very impressed. But they don't live where the 14s live.
No, they don't. They're their own house.
So when I want to go to the 14s, which is very rare, obviously, because I'm living up in the 30s. But when I do need the 14s, I'm a bit tired, after the flight. I can't find them.
No, I know.
And there's 34s there.
Because they're in the 30s, that's why.
Well, no, they're often in the other room.
Well, Nick, put it this way. Imagine you coming to train your session. I'm in the gym for 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
So I come up with PTs, or PTs watching this, they're like, you're only in here for an hour, mate. You've got to be in there for 8 hours trying to find your weights. There's nothing worse.
It's like foraging for nuts sometimes.
And it's bad enough. It's bad enough. Let me say this to the camera right now. It's bad enough members doing it, but personal trainers, put your equipment away, please.
Yeah, they're bad.
Please. It's what example are you setting? And also as well, let's go back to new members, fundamentals again. Let's go back to the people that are intimidated in the gym.
Yeah.
And they want to use something, and they go up and there's bars everywhere with weights. Some people, and it doesn't, I'm not going to brand women or men on this because it's both.
Yeah.
Some people can't be lifting 20 kgs and 60 kgs off of an Olympic bar after doing your 1 or 3 rep max. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you know, it's not fair.
Oh, the deadlifters, you are most guilty of this. I found 250 kilo bars. I've helped some of the guys clean up at the gym on a late night. I helped Ryan.
What are you doing?
Come on,
put your stuff back, guys.
You can pick up 240 kilos.
Please,
on the bar, you can put it away.
Please,
you can put it away.
Big niggle that is of mine.
Eating in the gym.
Actually, I'm going to stop you there because for me, no, bear with. Bear with.
And now I mean in the changing room.
Bear with. Okay, so for me, when I do a lot of clients back to back, so you will very rarely, but you will see me at some point getting in, and it will only be, it'll be either one or two things. It will be a BCAA knockout drink, plug if you're listening, and it will be either like a grenade bar or a USN or something like that to get me going in between. In between my meals. I will not be having a full-on salad and all the rest of it on the gym floor. Now, look, this is totally up to you if you want to do this. This is just, and we're a bit showing our views. I'm not judging you because you're eating on the gym floor, but this is my little niggle. So for me, stop doing it.
Yeah,
stop doing it.
It's bad.
Because of this. This is the main reason for me. Normally, when you've got litter, when you've got material that's been eaten or drunk from, it's normally left. That's the problem. Which leads me onto littering in the gym, which leads me on to this, and I've got a classic. Normally, the D bar for the deadlift, the grip's a little bit, it'll tear you to pieces, right? Okay, so what people do is they will get tissue and they will wrap it round.
Yeah.
They wrap it round. Next thing, you know, you go to where it is and it looks like everybody's had a cold for a week. There are tissues all up the walls, all around the sides. Guys,
get some gloves.
Do something. Or do you know what? How about this? Just put it back.
Yeah.
Just, if you're going to use stuff, just put it back. Simple gym etiquette. Set and lead by example, and then everybody can come in and you won't get this. People now say, how bad is this? People come in and say, whoa, look how clean it is in here. Oh my God. That's how it should be. It's a gym. There's a compartment for this. Go and put it away. There's a compartment for that.
Yeah.
Go and put it away.
Yeah.
Use the bin for your rubbish. Go and put it away.
Yeah.
Little bear bugs of mine.
Dropping kit.
Okay, so this is a tough one though.
Well, no, there's a time and a place sometimes, right?
There is.
But often it's not the time and the place.
Yeah, agree. Look, I get it. If you're performing Olympic lifts, you need to be dropping weight from heights because you need all the energy to perform the next one.
Yes.
I get that, and the same with some deadlifts and things like that. But my worst one is when you've got a shoulder press on the go and he just smashes it in the squat rack though. Crash! Consistently, crash.
We all know the squat rack is only for bicep curls anyway.
It is indeed. Actually, it's not. It's normally for dumbbell bicep curls.
Dumbbell bicep curls.
Only dumbbell bicep curls in the squat rack. Yeah. If you can squat 200 kg, you're allowed. It's a rule of thumb in our gym.
So another niggle.
Yeah, if you're watching.
Bicep curls and squat rack. Just don't do it, right? If you're new, someone will say, don't be embarrassed, we've all done it on occasion, once, possibly. Don't do it.
How about this then? You've got me on one now. How about taking your Olympic bars out of where the boxing bags are?
Yeah.
Keep the box in there. Keep the box. This is what I'm saying, Nick. You're only in for an hour. This is what I'm saying. He's in for an hour. I'm in for 8 constantly. Right.
Amateur.
So, imagine you've come in. You're ready. You want to hit the bag, right? You've been fired up all day. You're like, I want to have a little move around. Next thing you know, you go to do a bit of footwork. You might want to even lay out an agility ladder, all right? Because that is conditioning, right? And leaving Olympic bars with 100 kg on, right by where you've got a punch bag going on. Come on, please put the bars away. It is for boxing, areas for boxing. And for boxers, it can be very, very frustrating. Yeah. It's bad enough for me when I walk around and nearly trip over it. But maybe that's why I wear glasses. Just saying.
Mobile phones.
Oh.
Do you know what really grips me about mobile phones in the gym, right?
Sorry, Nick. This is my ultimate. This is the one for me. So we've got
the mobile phone.
The time now. We're going to give ourselves no more than 3 days on this subject, because I could go on for all
I don't understand why you bring your mobile phone into the gym, which is black, with a black screen, and you put it on the black floor by people with weights walking around, and then moan when people stand on your phone, right? No. I've done that a couple of times, and people go mad at me, and I'm like, why is your phone on the floor in the gym?
Trainers,
I can kind of understand the trainers
on the phone.
I've had so many classes doing that, and I'm like,
so really let me just say this categorically: there is only 3 times you will see me on the phone on the gym floor. This is it. Number 1 is to text you to see whether you got the new delivery of your Bart Simpson pants. No, number 1.
I did. Thank you very much.
Number 1 will be this: if my watch isn't working and I want to use the timer, so we can get the sets and so we get the rest periods in, right? So I want to use the timer on my phone with my client. That's number 1. Number 2 is if I've got an absolute emergency from my family, my mum or whatever, I will say to my client, do you mind if I take this? It's an absolute emergency. Yeah, that's number 2. And number 3 would be if my next client has got an emergency, and I will then kindly ask my current client, would you mind, or is it possible if I can reply to this message of my next client, because he's saying he's going to be 20 minutes late, is it still worth coming, or whatever it may be. That's just a scenario. Apart from that, you should not be on your phone unless, number 4 actually, you are videoing your client and they've agreed to be video for social media or whatever, or for technique purposes. Apart from that, you should not be using your phone as a personal trainer. I've seen trainers, and this disgusts me, by the way, and it happens. It's like, all right, you'll do that exercise, your back's turned on a hamstring curl, for example. They're facing this way, they're curling hamstring. I'll just go and get his phone out like that, check his messages. I've seen people go on Instagram and start writing posts and all that. I'm like, what are you doing? People are paying for this time, and what sort of example are you setting for new personal trainers that are coming into the industry that have just joined the gym? You're not.
I think people at the gym generally, I mean, just like if you've been on your phone all day, put it in your locker.
Yeah.
Talk to the people in the gym. Tim and I know each other. This is how we met. I didn't book him as an instructor. Right. You know, I do reviews at the gym. You know, I haven't done any classes with you. We just got chatting.
Yeah.
One day, in fact, he just looked at me weirdly, and I thought it was funny, and then that's pretty much how it got started. Talk to people in the gym.
Well, the thing is, Nick, it goes back to being present. How can you be present within that moment and you know, consistently give it your all within that time if your mind is elsewhere on the phone? You know, it's not fair. And I'm coming from a personal training perspective as a PT, and I'm pretty sure 95% of personal trainers will agree with me when I say there's no way you should be on your phone, you know, when it comes to being with your clients.
And most aren't.
They are. No.
It's I mean,
we're just bearing a few little niggles.
But we have this gripe. It's a minority of people, really small.
This is to deliver a message to people that are doing it and make them think about their actions a little bit more and how they're impacting the industry.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're completely present with somebody, they're paying for your time. All right. They're not going to be you will miss certain areas of the move, or you will miss certain areas of flexibility, mobility, or whatever you're doing at the time if you're not completely locked in with what's going on. You know, you can't say, okay, 10 reps on there and then just send them off and then look at your phone. Bloody hell. I mean, look, I talk to everyone in the gym, but let me tell you, I make sure I make sure that I am fully engaged with my clients while I'm in the gym. And I know the clients where I can have a chat with somebody else within a rest period and the clients that I can't. And let me tell you this, the whole reason why I'm talking to other people within rest periods when I'm with my clients is so I can get my client involved in that conversation with that other person.
Yeah.
Which means when I'm not training them in the gym, they'll know more people in that gym than they did when they first started to go in. And whether they go in and take the mick out of me and be like, oh bloody hell, Tim the other day he was on one, oh yeah, your training looked really hard. But that's how it all starts. Yeah. And then it's happened with some of my clients where they've got talking to each other. Next thing you know, they're training together.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. So, focus, be in the moment, when you're, don't be on your phone, don't litter within the gym.
Don't litter.
Put your weights away.
Tidy it up.
Make sure your weights go within the place or you're training within the certain areas that you should be. Don't be doing snatch by the boxing bag. What are you doing, mate? Sort yourself out. Jesus.
I've opened the box. it's like
He's got me right on one.
There we are. That's good.
Right.
I think it's enough for this week. That's enough for this week. So put your kit away so Tim doesn't explode. Get off your phone and chat to people at the gym. Chat to us.
One sec, mate.
Oh, he's checking.
Oh, it's all right.
We'll have a conversation about this after. Chat to us. We'll always be there. Yeah, he will be. I'm not there on occasion. Yeah. And be patient with your training and learn.
Yes.
That's all we've discovered today.
Yeah. Nice podcast.
Thanks, mate.
Enjoyed it.
It's good fun to do. Good fun to do.
Really good.
Right. Are we going to have a guest next time?
We are going to have a guest, but it's going to be a surprise guest. And what we will do, I think we'll announce it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Before the next one.
Yeah.
And what we'll do is I think we'll leave maybe one or two subjects open.
Yeah.
So people can say, can you talk about this?
Yeah. We want to.
So we want as much interaction of everybody that's listening to these podcasts, and we want to get as much feedback as possible. But also we want people to be firing things that they want to hear. This is why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Value. That's why we're doing it.
Have a great week, everybody.
See you soon, guys. Bye.